Facilities that make this program possible are provided by the City of Highland Park. Programs are produced independently by members of the community. The City of Highland Park is not affiliated with the following program or the producers of public access programming and is not responsible for the content. The following program does not reflect the opinions of the City of Highland Park.
Welcome to Chill Out. I'm Pam Chill. I'm one of the producers for the Highland Park Senior Producers. And today I'm very, very excited to have as my guest, Sue Garski. Welcome.
Thank you.
And my pleasure. And our program today is about a very wonderful topic that can actually save your life. It's called self-defense, another form of life insurance.
Yes.
And which is a very interesting title that you did come up with. Again, I want to welcome you and tell me a little bit about what you do and about where you do that.
Okay, so
Yes.
My name is Sue, and I'm the owner at Krav Maga, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
It is a reality self-defense training facility for adults and children. So all we do is teach self-defense to professionals, moms, dads, police officers, military. Everyone needs to defend themselves, so we give them that opportunity. So I've been doing that for about 10 years. I've had the school. I have two schools, one in Chicago and one in Highland Park.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and you said everyone. I mean, as far as women, gentlemen,
men,
teenagers,
professionals, yes.
everybody should know self-defense.
Right. The world
Yes.
isn't getting any less violent, so we need to make sure that we make this a part of our life, getting knowledge about how to protect ourselves and our families.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and it has been on the news, as we mentioned, prior to the interview, we were mentioning a Nightline segment about 3 runners that even in broad daylight had horrible things happen to them. They were assaulted and, in actual broad daylight and in front of a lot of people.
Right.
So
yes.
that's, you really have to be aware of your surroundings and where to go and who to get help from. So let's talk a little bit about the title.
Self-defense, another form of insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So we spend money on medical insurance, car insurance, life insurance, and those things help us in certain situations. This is another form of life insurance. It's keeping me alive longer. So if I have this knowledge of self-defense, maybe a bad situation that would have happened to me isn't going to happen now because I have this knowledge, because I used my intuition, because I worked on my awareness and reaction skills. So it's like insuring my life rather than just walking around just hoping that I get lucky and if something happens that I just naturally respond. So it's just all about another kind of insurance to prolong my life.
Mm-hmm. It's being proactive.
Yes.
Right. Taking control of circumstances before they can take control of you.
Absolutely.
Yes. Now, how is self-defense different for women?
For women, it's a little bit different because we're nurturers. We take care of people. For us, we're not inherently aggressive. So sometimes we need to learn that. So when we're doing our self-defense, we need to really take a realistic turn on it. Imagine that it's someone who's trying to hurt our family. That's what really turns us on to really be able to defend ourselves. So we need to be able to go that extra mile to be able to get ourselves home safely rather than thinking about the other person. Mm-hmm. So in other words, we're always thinking about how we're affecting someone else, even in some cases in a self-defense situation. So I need to not think about that person. I need to think about me. It's either him or me. I'm the one who's going to get home safe to my family, not him. I'll do whatever I have to do in order to get to my family. And we have to ingrain that in their heads, empower them, let them know that they are really super strong and that you can do this.
Mm-hmm. And size does not matter.
Size doesn't matter. Imagine if size mattered. than women who were like me, 5'2". I could never defend myself. So everyone who's small, everyone who doesn't work out, sorry guys, you can't defend yourself. So
Right.
how could that be?
No.
So we have to have a system that works for everyone, not based on your muscle, but based on leverage and based on the element of surprise. And that's what we do. That's what we teach in reality self-defense training.
Wow, it sounds wonderful. I can't wait to go to one of your classes, which I loved doing. Okay, another thing is that we did talk about intuition. And
Yes.
I know myself personally, it's, you know, you just have this gut feeling. There's just this feeling that comes over you where you get goosebumps and you're like, I need to get out of this situation. I need not to walk down that street. I need to avoid that certain person the way that they're eyeing me or looking at me.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about intuition.
Right. That's one of the good points of effective self-defense training is trusting your intuition. We all have it as women. We have to trust it. There's a story about a woman who was about to get on an elevator, and she saw this creepy guy, so to speak. So she thought, oh, you know what? He kind of scares me, but it's probably nothing. So she got on the elevator, and she ended up getting attacked. Had she used her intuition, she wouldn't have gotten on that elevator. If she would have believed in what her body, her mind was telling her, she wouldn't have been in that situation. So if something feels wrong, it might be wrong. That's the best gift that we were given as women. We have so much intuition. We need to use it. If I feel like I'm walking down the street and someone's walking towards me and they look kind of like sketchy, I'll cross the street. Maybe they were perfectly fine. I don't care, but maybe they weren't. That's the difference, could be the difference between life and death, is am I trusting my gut feeling, or am I just saying, it'll never happen to me, that couldn't possibly happen.
Well, there is a point of being street smart.
Yes.
And people who live in the suburbs, when they go into the city as well, they have to realize they have to be scanning. Like when you're driving and scanning, as a person, you have to be scanning, looking around. Am I a target? Are they looking at me too closely? Are they trying to gain my attention? Are they looking to what my belongings are? Are they looking at my jewelry? Are they looking at, the shoulder strap on my handbag? I mean, people, they might have a motive of something you have that they want.
Right.
So you have to really be scanning. So we'll discuss a little bit about surroundings.
Well, you need to have a good sense of your awareness. You need to have a good sense of your surroundings environmentally as well. When you're out, for instance, you're always looking. Let's say you go to a department store or restaurant. You should always know where the exit is. What if someone came in the front door? How are you going to get out? So you need to know where you can go in a really bad situation. So I'm always looking. When you're out, let's say you're running on a trail, who's around you? Who's behind you? Do you see anyone here? Is there anyone there? Anytime, within any part of your life, you always need to know who's there, where are you, do you know where you're going? You should always know where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
And like just have a good plan.
Right, even in a parking lot.
Yes.
Because a lot of people, you go to, a mall and it's late at night, you should always kind of have your keys out and look at other cars around you. I mean, are they very close in proximity? Are they happen to be right next to you? Is there someone in the car? Because things can happen and they can happen so quickly and we're caught off guard. I mean, I have always learned to do that because my background is in the jewelry business.
Oh, yeah.
And, people tend to want to follow you for certain reasons, because they figure you run a jewelry store. So I always was taught to do that.
Yes,
And
especially in a parking lot. You want to always make sure that you have your keys with you. You go from the store to your car, have your keys ready just in case something happens. Don't be fumbling around in your purse because there's predators out there. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for someone who looks vulnerable so they can jump on you. You look confident, you look good, they're not going to mess with you. They're going to go to the next person who's looking in their purse or they're on their phone or they're looking down. They're the ones they're going to get. They're not going to come over and try and bother you because you don't look vulnerable. So that's something that we need to do. We need to learn how to look more confident when we walk. If we're walking our heads down, we're not aware of anything around us, well, we're an easy target. But if we're up and we have our head up and we look like we know where we're going, then we're less of a target. there was a video that was shown to some prisoners, and it was just people walking in a mall. And so they showed it to a bunch of different prisoners, people who were arrested for theft and whatnot. And every prisoner picked out exactly the same persons that they would attack, that they would see as victims. And those were the persons that were walking around oblivious to what was going on around them. So it's a fact. They're looking for you. So again, it's about your awareness, your surroundings, and how you look and how you appear to people.
And have a plan.
You have
always,
to have a plan.
Always think ahead.
Exactly.
I mean, don't think that nothing could happen, because there were a couple of situations that I've been in, and the only reason I got out is because I had a plan.
Correct.
You know, I mean, if somebody was following me and I knew there wasn't a camera in front of my store, but I knew if I went to that Chase Bank, there was a camera right outside, and I knew if I stay there, no one's going to bother me because they're on surveillance. So, you know, just keep aware of your situation. And a lot of times that I do want to point out, Sue, is that people will come up to you. They'll ask you for directions. You know, so what do you do then? I mean, they could be legitimately asking you for directions, but they're getting closer to you. They're getting your guard down. So how do we handle something that could be like, oh, I need help with my car, or, you know, or whatever?
Again, back to females. We're nurturing, we want to help people. So our first instinct might be, okay, I'll give them the information. Oh, I just want to help you. But know this, we all have personal space. It's like a shield around us. And once someone gets into that personal space, they've come too far. You need to know, you need to detect that, and you need to make sure that they know that they can't get any further, any closer to you. So obviously you can just put your hands up. If they get a little closer to you, then you know it's trouble. And then that's when you're going to have to respond. But it's up to us to keep people out of that personal space of ours. Even when you're talking to someone, if you come up against someone who's a close talker, they're right in your face. You feel uncomfortable.
You start backing away.
Instinctively. Or sometimes you just stay there and you think, oh, I got to take this. No, you don't. Get away. Besides, especially if you're a little bit shorter and you're talking to someone who's really tall and they're right there in front of you, the further away you get from them, the more at the same level you become.
Oh, really?
So, yes. So, in other words, yes, I have a training partner who's 6 feet tall. If I stand next to him and look up and talk to him, he's tall. But if I get this far away from him, we're at the same level. I'm 6 feet tall, just like he is.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, yes. So that personal space is really important. It helps us to feel more confident. And then once again, once someone gets in your space, put your hands up. They get in your space again, you know it's trouble. You put your hands up, you use your voice. They don't get out, then you'll know that that's when you're going to have to fight.
Now, when you say use your voice, are you yelling? Are you screaming? Are you using some words that be expletive deleted that kind of like catch people off guard, that you're actually tougher than you really are? I mean, what are we?
It's a number of those things. So I want myself to look very confident. So I'm not going to be like a mouse, like get back. I'm going to use my voice authoritatively, so that they are going to back off as quickly as I use it. Another thing about using your voice is, if you are in a bad situation, you need to make sure that everyone knows. So sometimes you might be defending yourself and nobody knows. You're in a place where no one's around. So if we use our voice, not only is it going to short circuit the person who's trying to attack us, but it's going to alert other people who are going to come and say, what the heck's going on over there?
Oh, yeah.
So if you can use your voice, it's going to help you out in a lot of ways. So you just make sure that the person knows that you're not messing around.
Oh, yeah. I know when I was a little girl, and I'll just tell you the story really quick, must have been about 9 years old, and one of the neighbors somebody followed her into the building and was attacking her. And, you know, here was a little child, and I ran up and I was screaming at him, and I was, you know, just saying, you know what I mean? And he was like stunned. You know, and then
it was a surprise.
It was such a surprise, and he ran away, and the woman was like, oh my God, thank you. And, you know, and I said, I just did what I needed to do to help you.
Right. They don't want attention brought to themselves. So the louder you can be, the more people are going to become alerted, and then they're going to get caught. So they're more likely to run away. So you need to really use your voice in a situation like that.
Mm-hmm. And we do all have a powerful voice.
We do.
Yes. I mean, don't think that you don't, because, when danger is there, you will find it. Right.
You will find it. That is correct.
Now, what happens if a woman, going back to being, the female, but it doesn't have to be the female, if you are just so stunned, you are so, frightened of everything that's happening, it's just, so surreal that you've kind of, zoned out of everything, and it's not really, you're not paying attention, you're kind of, going with the flow and just thinking that something horrible is going to happen, but you don't know what to do.
Right. So that's where the self-defense as another form of life insurance comes in. So with training, if you train reaction, you're going to get past that part. You're going to learn how to respond. You can know all the self-defense in the world, but if you can't respond, then you don't have anything. So we're training to respond to the attack, to respond to the surprise. No one's going to tell you that at 2 o'clock today someone's going to attack you. Be ready. It's going to be a surprise. And it's how we react to that surprise that's going to help us to get out of that situation.
Okay. Keeping your eyes open.
Yes.
Okay.
We have to keep our eyes open. Absolutely. See everything. So maybe someone tries to take your purse on the street, something like that. Your eyes were already open. You know what color that person's eyes were. You know if they had tattoos. How tall were they? How long was their hair? By you giving this information to someone, the police, for instance, that can help save somebody else. So when you're walking down the street, if you can practice to look at things. We love nature. I look at the birds and the trees, and oh, there's a guy on his bike, and oh, look, that car keeps circling around, and wait a minute, what's the license plate on that? And you just play these games of just looking around, and it's going to help you in that situation, because again, we can't dictate when it's going to happen, but if we can stay aware, keep our eyes open, and not put ourselves into situations that could be harmful, then we're going to be okay.
Okay, and we also talked about running.
Yes.
Run to where people are. So we're going back to the jogger who's jogging, and they're on a trail, and maybe they saw another runner and they feel that somebody is following them.
Yes, this is when you're running, you should, first of all, let someone know where you're going. Don't just go to a new trail you haven't heard of and you're going to go on your own. Tell someone. If you could bring a friend, bring a friend. But if you're used to running on your own, you can't let this keep you from doing the things that you love. You can't be afraid. You've got to go. So while you're running on the trail, I had an experience where I was running and there was a guy behind me on a bike, and I was running over this bridge, and he sped ahead of me, and he stopped at the edge of the bridge, and he got off the bike. And my fists became clenched, and I kept going. I was like, okay, what's going on here? It was nothing, but the next day, there was a female police officer who was running on the trail, and same thing happened. Bicyclist came behind, went forward, got off his bike, and attacked her. So you need to really know who's around you, and once you find someone who's around you, keep your eye on them and see what the heck are they up to. When you're running, especially if you have earbuds, it's okay. Just only use one. Put your music down at a lower volume so that you could hear what's going on around you.
Because they can be right up behind you.
They could be, and you wouldn't know.
You wouldn't know it, and you're listening to your music and keeping up with the beat and the tempo and running, and you're kind of, when you're running, the endorphins come in,
yes,
and you're kind of like zoning out, and you're concentrating, especially if you're training. A lot of people train for marathons or 5Ks, and then, they're so into that training mode that they're not really aware of all the surroundings that are happening. Now, if someone feels that they are being followed.
Right. If you feel like you're being followed, first of all, you should know, is there a river on this side? Are there bushes on that side? I want to stay kind of in the middle. I don't want to be in a position where I can be vulnerable, like someone can come up behind me and push me into the bushes, push me into the river. I kind of want to stay in the middle. Again, my eyes are always focusing around. If I feel like someone is chasing me, they're behind me, I'm going to either run to people, to where someone else is, or I'm just going to stop. I'm going to use my voice, tell them to get back, and then if I have to fight, I'm going to have to fight. But I always have one ear open, one eye open. This side's on my run, This side's on being safe and making sure that no one is around me.
Okay, let's talk about being safe. What can you bring with you to kind of ensure a little bit more that less vulnerability? So I think you brought some different things that we can look at, and because I was also reading online, there's a lot of things. There's pepper spray, and there's different types of pepper spray that you can actually not inhale, but it does it farther away, like up to 10 feet away, that you can do that.
So you can bring with you pepper spray. You could bring a self-defense tool called a Kubotan. I have one here.
Oh, let's take a look at it.
I'll show you mine. This is mine. I've had it for about 25 years. This is Kubotan. It was actually designed for female police officers in New York City like a million years ago. So back in the 70s, we used to put our keys between our fingers, if you've ever seen this. And so if anything happened, you just punch them with your keys. But we found that the key would just go back into your hand at some point. So we have this tool, which is called a Kubotan. It has some grips for your hands, and it's just an extension of your hand. So I could hold it here, and if someone were to grab me behind, I could use it. I could use my keys to flail to keep them away. Or when I'm walking, maybe if I'm jogging, the moonlight could get picked up on it if it's shiny. No one's going to mess with you when you have this in your hand. But anyway, if you're a runner and you have it in your pack and you feel like someone's behind you, you can take it out and kind of run with it, and they're going to see it, and they're going to go and pick on somebody who doesn't have a little weapon in their hand. So, again, it's an awesome self-defense tool that you can use. Pepper spray is awesome. You have to be careful with pepper spray because on a windy day, it could spray back in your face. And there are predators who are used to that, who've had it sprayed in their eyes before and it had no effect on them at all. So, it's your choice of what you want to use. I like to use both just in case.
Just in case, right. Now, is there any kind of a stun gun as well?
There are stun guns. There are certain things that you can get online.
I don't know if you legally can do it.
Yeah, it depends on the state that you live in, if it's something legal or not. So you can look into that. But I prefer my Kubotan. This is great when you're out late at night shopping. You're in the parking lot, and you just walk out, and you just carry it in your hand, and everyone can kind of see it. So it gives you a bit of security. And then again, someone grabs you, you have something great that's not going to slip out of your hand. You can't travel with it. You can't have it in your carry-on, but you can put it in your check bags.
Oh, okay.
When I do travel, I keep it out. I can put it under my pillow if I'm staying in a hotel. It's not paranoia. It's called pre-paranoia. We are prepared for the worst. Things happen. The world is a violent place. Violence isn't going to stop. So why not be prepared? I still live my life. You still live your life. It's a part of our life that these things can happen. So we need to be prepared for in case it does. So that's the purpose of the self-defense training, the self-defense tools.
Okay, very good. And I think you brought out a couple more we'll look at really quickly, and then we're going to do a demonstration of doing self-defense. So we want to bring out what else we have.
Yes, we have another thing. There's many self-defense tools, and this is my pup. His name is Brutus. So when I carry him, I put my fingers in here, and in case someone were to grab me from the front or from behind, I have an awesome tool that I can use to keep that person away, and then I can use it, and then I can run. So it makes me feel better when I'm out late at night or anytime I sense that there may be some danger.
Very good. And anything else in your
I just have different colors of Kubotans.
Different colors of Kubotans. Yes. And then I was hearing, too, about another one that actually is a cat claw, Tiger Lady, I looked up online.
Yes.
And that one was very interesting because that's meant to retrieve DNA.
Yes.
And I thought it was just like a retractable cat claw, but it kind of like goes out. Yeah.
Yes, So you have a cat claw, and then you have the DNA, and then you go to the police, and then they're going to find that person, and they're going to save other women from that specific predator. Same thing with if you're in a self-defense situation and you're using your hands, like you're scratching, you have the DNA there.
Under your fingernails, right?
Under your fingernails, but not just that, but that person can't go to work now because you just scratched up their face. So everyone's going to look at that person and say, well, what did you do?
Right.
So they're going to look more guilty, plus you have the DNA under your fingernails, which, again, is going to help someone else in a bad situation.
All righty. So I think we're just about ready. We're going to take off our mics, and we are actually going to do a demonstration that could potentially save you from harm. And this is what you do every day.
Yes. So we're going to learn some combatives. These are the things that are going to help you out of a bad situation. The first one we're going to use is a kick. It's in the style that I do. It's Krav Maga. It's a reality self-defense from the Israeli military. We call this the Krav Maga handshake. It is a front kick to the groin. Someone's coming a little too close. So you're just going to bring your leg up. The angle is straight up. So when I say go, Pam, you're going to kick. Go! Good. Now back it up. We're going to do it again. Go! Now you have to have in your mind that this combative is going to save your life. You're not playing around. Right from here, let's go. Good. So you've just given that kick. You hope that that was the kick that was going to do it, but maybe this person is on drugs or they are deranged. The kick didn't do anything. You have to have in your mind that you're going to continue to follow up until you know you can get home safe. So we're going to add after that kick, I just want you right now to do 4 palm heels. A palm heel strike, my whole hand, it covers a lot of surface area. So added benefit, fingers in the eyes. Hips are the power. I just want 4, as hard as you can. Good. So now with those combatives, if you use your voice, it's going to make it even more beneficial because everyone knows that you're in trouble. So right from here, we're going to do a kick followed up by 4 palm heel strikes. Ready? Go. Kick. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Good. That's it. Very good. Well, now that person who was deranged and possibly on drugs, worst case scenario. We always think worst case.
Right.
So we're going to add some close range attacks, which would be knees, point of the knee. So if you want to just go ahead and grab onto me, you're very close, 2 hands one side, 2 hands one side. Your knee is going to come straight up. Yes, go, go, go. One more. Good, very good, Pam. Good. So we're going to put that all together. You've got to fight. The fight could be about 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. So we're doing that kick. It didn't do anything. Palm heels, still not. We've got to resort to getting in close and throwing those knees. So 1 kick, 4 palm heel strikes, 3 knees. Ready? Kick. 4. Good. 3 knees. Get in there. 1. 1. Good. 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 Now grab on 2 hands one side. 3 knees. Go. 1, 2, 3. Good. So those are combatives. Those are the things that we're going to use to get us out of that bad situation. It's like diving into a pool. You dive into the pool. Once you've decided to swim, you can't get back out. So you've decided to defend yourself. You go all in. We're right now just going to do a choke. So body's natural response to pain. As soon as I feel the pain, my hands go where the pain is. I'm going to put my hands on your throat. You make your hands like a hook. Explode out like you're Superman ripping off your shirt. So I'm just going to put my hands on your throat. Pluck it out the other side. Yes, go. Boom. Yes, good. Here we go. Good. Again. Boom. So you've just defended that choke. Now just add that straight palm heel strike. Yes. So hands are like hooks. It comes out. Boom. Yes. Okay. Ready? And add the strike. Go. Pluck out. Right from here. Boom. Go. Now strike. Yeah. There you go. Again. Come on over here. Choke comes on. You only have 5 to 9 seconds before you start getting tunnel vision and you start to pass out.
Right.
Right away. Explosive elements of surprise. The outsides right here. Go. Go ahead. Pluck. Go. Strike. That's it. And then you're going to grab on, do those 3 knees, and then go. Take off. Get away. Go to the people.
What if it grabs you as you're running?
If he grabs you with you make sure that you hurt him enough. You keep going until you're sure you've hurt that person enough where they can't chase you.
What if he wants to chase you?
He's going to want to chase you, but he's going to be on the ground.
Oh, going to be on the ground.
So you keep fighting. You keep fighting.
All
keep
right.
fighting.
Well, I see we're running out of time. Sue, this was phenomenal. And, you know, keep saving those lives. And if you want to learn, they can come to you in Highland Park.
Yes.
And get more of self-defense. More training.
More self-defense.
Yes. How much training do you think somebody needs?
You should come to class about 2 to 3 times a week to get everything in your muscle memory so that you always have it available to you.
Uh-huh.
But if all you could do is one day's better than nothing. get as much knowledge about self-defense as you can. There's so much on the internet right now. Always reading and keep yourself clear.
Alrighty, and get one of those little weapons too. It's a good thing to have. Alrighty, thank you very, very much. Thank you.